It was the message from Bidzina that, guys, you don't have will. So I decided when to lock you up. I decide when to release you, whether you want it or not. And I allocated you a little space in Georgian politics.
Now going to elections is way worse than not going to elections.
Obviously. When things are getting tougher for Russia, it means that at the same time it is getting tougher for the Georgian Dream.
America can afford Trump, okay?
Yeah.
Georgia can't afford Bidzina.
In real life, sometimes there is no 3 lifeboats, Nodar. So, and the 2 were missed, sadly.
Maybe there will be a third one, you never know.
Maybe. Hello and welcome to Talk Georgia Question Time. With me, Giorgi Rukhadze.
And with me, Nodar Kharshiladze.
This is a special edition of Talk Georgia where Nodar and I answer your pressing questions about Georgian and international politics.
Talk Georgia brought to you by Droiba Media Group, which is a trusted source of news and analysis.
And GSAC, a think tank providing comprehensive political analysis of Georgia and wider Black Sea region, also academic and practical training for postgraduate students and mid-career professionals.
Yes, and now I think it's time for our questions.
Okay, let me read out the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the first one came from Levan, and the question is about the recent news that GD appointed President Khavelashvili pardoned Lelo leaders Khazaradze and Japaridze. So the question runs like this: why did GD President Khavelashvili pardon Khazaradze and Japaridze? What's the real game behind, in your opinion?
Well,
so you are our expert on Bidzina, so
Bidzinologist.
Will you start, Nodar?
I mean, we can. I don't know how much of Bidzina is in it, but it's very much looks like his play. I mean, if you look
obviously that's not Khavelashvili.
No, maybe it's Kobakhidze, but what it is that for the moment situation is very bad for opposition. I mean, meaning that they are disjointed, they are disorganized. I mean, and now they are fighting each other more than they are fighting Georgian Dream, especially due to the topic of participation in local elections. So, out of these 4 parties which passed the threshold last time due to the 2024 results, the 2 of them are going there, 2 of them are not. So this is the worst possible scenario. Now,
yeah, it is.
And we mentioned a number of times in our program, so I'll not repeat ourselves. So, however, this was very smart move from GD side to add even more troubles in the opposition field, because they arrested 6 or 7 guys in total due to the Kurashvili was arrested, these 2 were arrested, Kwaramia, Melia, and I think some and Giorgi Rukhadze. So now they're releasing just 2. They're keeping the rest. So from the guys who are still there and from their supporters, it means that they could ask questions: did they make some kind of deal to do that? And for them, for these 2 guys, they were sincerely upset about it, because they had this image of being there with everybody else and that they're victims of the regime. So no more. You just get released to go and participate in elections, like you get a mandate from Bidzina to take part of elections. So from many, and plus to the foreign partners, it's also could be considered a small step to right directions. You see, we released some of them. I don't think that in the last part it will play out like that, but whatever it is additional problem for opposition and no trouble for Georgian Dream at all. I mean, for them, Khazaradze and the Badris and Japaridze's release doesn't add any problems. I mean, it doesn't make them look weak. No, quite contrary. They say we release who we want and we keep who we want.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So I think that whoever planned it, and again, it looks like Bidzina's move because he likes things like that. It's a smart move. I don't think that it will save overall Georgian Dream in anything. Did not add any popularity definitely in Georgia or abroad. But they do what they do, and this is the smart.
Yeah. Actually, I want to congratulate Mr. Khazaradze and Mr. Japaridze on being released from prison, but I agree with you that I think it was the message from Bidzina that, guys, you don't have will. So I decided when to lock you up. I decide when to release you, whether you want it or not. And I allocated you a little space in Georgian politics. Because if you read what Khavelashvili basically published, he said that, well, these people are released because to take part in the local elections, providing that they respect law better. Okay? So, and in Georgia, we know that we don't have rule of law. We've got Bidzina's rule. And the message is that as long as you respect Bidzina's rule, we might allocate little space there in politics. And you can stay there, take part in the elections, etc., etc., right? So I think that this is the message. But what I am a little bit surprised about is that I didn't hear counter message from Lelo and from Khazaradze and Japaridze. You said that that was a smart move from the Georgian Dream. I think it was. But what I also thought that there could have been a counter move from Lelo. And for example, when Mamuka Khazaradze came out from prison, the first comment he made, it started like that, okay, if, okay, that was a dirty move from Bidzina, etc., and then he said that if Khavelashvili wouldn't pardon other leaders who are in prison exactly for the same reason as we are, I was naively thinking that he would say that we would not participate in the elections. And then you could turn us back in prison if you want, right? But, and this would have been, I think, the better move from his side, but I mean, this is wishful thinking from my side. But he said that, well, that shows that how manipulative Ivanishvili is, and continued. It reminds me of an old joke about a devout Christian who is drowning in the sea. Have you heard of that? Yeah. The guy is like in the middle of the sea getting drowned, and suddenly there is a lifeboat coming, and to save him. And the guy goes, no, the God will save me. And then there is another lifeboat coming, and the same story. And the third lifeboat with a very enthusiastic, this guy who throws this life jacket to the guy and says that, hold on, man, we're going to save you. And the guy says, oh, leave me alone, the God will save me. Eventually, guy gets drowned, dies, appears in front of God, and starts complaining about why God didn't save him. And the God says that, how stupid you are. Who do you think sent you these 3 lifeboats? And I think that it's not God, but Ivanishvili himself sent at least 2 lifeboats to Lelo leaders, basically to correct their decision if they wanted. The first was when they were sent to prison, and that was an excellent opportunity for them to just tie up with the other leaders and demonstrate, the unity, etc. Or now, when they were released, I think that was another lifeboat given to them, and they could put Ivanishvili in an awkward situation and also start or become unifiers of the opposition, because Gakharia doesn't really count in exile. But in real life, sometimes there is no 3 lifeboats, Nodar. So and the 2 were missed, sadly.
Maybe there will be a third one, you never know.
Maybe.
We talked about the choice of not to go, and like it's. I think if before we discussed it and we said that the both are wrong, because I think now it looks like that in this situation where part is not going and what changed since then that they got arrested. Now going to elections is way worse than not going to elections.
Obviously it is.
After this arrest, especially for Lelo, who now who was designated opposition. It looks like that they're designated opposition because they got especially released from the prison to take part. So the text was very cynical, I agree, from Khavelashvili, and I think that going to election is a big mistake from their side. but I think they are also locked on it. I don't
Say
think
again?
they are locked on it.
I think yes. I mean, they're being stubborn there. I mean,
I think they already spent some money. They already nominated their candidate. So I think that they will work structurally, and this structure is now poised to go to elections. And I don't think that they have a will to back it down. Although politically, now it looks it's a mistake. I mean,
it is indeed a mistake, and even now, I think it is today's news. Kobakhidze basically said or asked the OSCE observers to come and observe the local elections, which means that they are looking for the approval, some kind of approval, and the competitiveness, the mode.
Yeah.
Right, and this could have been. I mean, well, this could be if Lelo basically decides otherwise. It could have been the blow to the Georgian Dream's plans, but I don't know.
Plus, now they are coupled with Gakharia.
Yes.
And after Gakharia's recent statement in Berlin, I don't think that it's a good thing to be coupled with him now.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, he started moaning about that, that it was a mistake not to take the seats in the parliament.
No.
I think what he is looking for, Gakharia, in my opinion, is the kind of concessions from Bidzina, saying that, okay, if you acquit me, some of my guys will basically take the seats in the parliament. But I think that's a trap, because Gakharia is a whole different case for Bidzina, I think. It's a personal vendetta. Even if he's agreed to come and lured in, I think that he would be punished anyway.
Yes.
So I think
he's a traitor. I don't think that it's like in Bachiashvili's case. It's too personal. I don't think that it has much to do with politics. Plus, Bidzina does not care about his political moves because he thinks that he gets all sorted out. So.
Yeah, and apart from that, Gakharia's party is kind of falling apart because quite a lot of people are deserting. Yeah. Not only Teona, but also
I would not call it deserting. I would call it
some of the others. Yeah.
Deserting is a bad word.
Okay, just distancing themselves from.
Yeah, they're distancing, and I think that makes lots of sense. Yeah. So we have
I said deserting the ship in a way that when the ship is sinking.
So we have a second question.
Yes.
I'll ask it. You did first one, I'll do this one.
Go ahead.
Ivanishvili, chief propagandist, now claims that deep state controls Trump and Rubio. Does this mean Georgian Dream's friendship in parentheses with Trump has ended? Okay. So does deep state, you should know, you worked in deep state very long.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll start. Little bit clarification is that Anna here means Zaza Shatirishvili.
Yes.
Who is...
and disclaimer, Giorgi Rukhadze was working very long in the European Parliament, which effectively makes him part of deep state. So take with a grain of salt everything that he says. Go ahead, okay. Deep state, talk now.
I'll start. On behalf of deep state, what I can say is that, again, Anna here meant Zaza Shatirishvili, a philosopher attached to Ivanishvili.
Georgian version of Dugin.
Truly he's propagandist. And for those who don't know, he, not occasionally, but quite frequently releases his letters or articles, very long articles. And these articles basically are the basis for Georgian Dream's later propaganda, or the key line of their propaganda. And I think that this is a good question because it was published a few days ago, and this letter is basically different from the other letters. And I did my homework here, and I brought some, it's really a truly long letter, but some of the small paragraphs here, the key ones. And I'm going to read out here, and then we can basically talk further about this. In reality, Trump is just as compelled to submit to the global war party and deep state as Biden is. And Trump, Rubio, and Vance are participating in the major reshuffle initiated by the deep state. They blame everything on the previous administration while carrying out deep state's agenda using new methods. And the Georgian Dream shouldn't wait for what many in America are expecting, a rebranding of the deep state, which will take about a year. The logic is simple. Once that rebranding is complete, the deep state will return to Georgia with a strengthened President Trump and will once again try to replace Georgian government with their agents of influence. That's why Georgian Dream must prepare society in advance for a new wave of attacks from the deep state, and this time through the new administration, meaning the Trump's new administration. Well, this is a whole lot of different line, if you ask me. Until now, it was more or less, it was the fight between Trump and the deep state. Okay, and that was touch and go whether Trump would defeat the deep state or deep state would defeat the Trump. Now this new line tells us that that was false all the way. And the reality is that the Trump and Rubio and his administration is basically controlled by the deep state and the Global War Party exactly the same way as the Biden administration was controlled.
Correct.
As they claim. So which tells me kind of that the hopes that the relationship could have been settled with Trump administrations evaporated. And now they are basically kind of on their own and truly want to prepare the public opinion here that Trump is not what we thought kind of initially. And if you look at those open letters that occasionally, Khavelashvili or Rukhadze sends to the Washington, and basically these are the letters not sent to Washington but designed to be public and show some of the stakeholders here and there and everywhere that this is what we are trying to do. That shows that there is no clear, not positive response from the DC. And there are also a lot of other signs, if you ask me, that it is really dangerous now to be part of the other camp. If you take a look at the global politics, also geopolitics, what happened in China when Chinese president and the Russian Putin and Indian Prime Minister were standing together, and how Trump basically commented on that. And I also have that somewhere here. So I think it was yesterday on Truth Social when Trump said that it looks like we lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. And he says that may they have a long and prosperous future together. A lot of irony. And also there was kind of statement from Chinese president who said that the dragon and elephant
should become friends,
dance together. And that kind of shows there are a lot of irony and humor there, but also tells me that there will be action from Trump's side. And he's also getting disappointed, and he mentioned that many times, what Putin is doing. And Putin is careful with his words, but his actions are now already a bit too much for Trump to bear, and his patience is running thin. So when things are getting tougher for Russia, it means that at the same time it is getting tougher for the Georgian Dream. So I think everything taken together tells me that we will hear from Georgian Dream, not only propagandists, but for talking heads, how bad President Trump has been all the way. And, there will be kind of turns and twists in their propaganda line. What do you think?
Well, I think that Mr. Japaridze is a funny one, because his so-called analysis are so ridiculous that it does not even qualify. He is more radical than many American radicals, this. And he believes in it or not, doesn't matter. I think he does.
Mega maga.
Yeah. He keeps mentioning that new world order will look like novel of the Huxley, which is called New Brave World. I read it when I was way younger. It's anti-utopia. There are a number of books like that. But he keeps mentioning that New Brave World. I mean, very often. I think that's the popular reading among them, saying, you see what that's there. And the problem is not his deluded comments or his dementia written letters. I mean, there are people like that in every country. Problem is that he is now major guy who looks like advising Vizina.
Yeah, this is what I said.
Yeah, because we all knew that he was close, but when you look at Vizina's letters, late ones, or his letters to American administration, I mean, not his personal, but letters of his puppets, you see Japaridze there.
Absolutely. Those open letters, basically, there are lots of elements of that.
It's clear that nobody who knows anything about intergovernmental relations touched it, because it's not even styled proper. For example, Khavelashvili's letter, which is also a bit funny, but it was at least written in a proper form. Vizina's letters, all these letters Rukhadze sent, they're not in proper form. So, yeah, we discussed it separately, and if you want, I mean, they should be. There is a video on that on the channel. We think that, I think we both agree that once this kind of delusions start directing countries' foreign policy, that's where things get ugly. And again, it depends. If you are Switzerland or Austria and you get this kind of things, yes, you will be harmed anyway. People will stop treating you seriously. But again, you have some resources to survive for some time until you get better, okay? Until you get rid of this illness and then you get functioning back as a normal state. But in case of Georgia, which is one of the poorest countries on the European continent, has 20 or even more percentage of its land occupied and has Russian troops standing 40 kilometers from where we sit currently. It's the middle of Tbilisi. We can't afford it. Okay, we can't afford. America can afford Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
Georgia can't afford Vizina. And the very fact that America is going for Trump a second time, it's very funny to see and tragic as well. And what happened with this Shanghai
cooperation
or SHOS summit, that is also Trump's fault.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah. There were some inner workings against it during the President Obama's administration when they started this Pacific initiative with Australia, Japan, Vietnam, and that was smart. That was preempting exactly this. Of course, Trump said no to it, and now with these tariffs, which he kind of introduces and takes back, he alienated India.
Well, that's a serious stuff, I would say.
Bringing China and India together, you need to work very hard on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, it's a bit early to judge, if you ask me.
Good point. One point which should be mentioned: if you look at history of the Shanghai Security Organization, Shanghai Cooperation,
Shanghai Cooperation, yes, Shanghai
Organization of SHOS, Shanghai Organization of Cooperation. If you look at that, you will see a lot of similar stuff previous years. They talked about joint. I mean, I don't mean that like this, but on magnitude. They talked about to create new currency, which would like euro, but for a SHOS zone, and to unify BRICS and SHOS together, and to make it more efficient, to introduce their own NATO type organization. So there were lots of things like that, and every time. It's SHOS or BRICS, and SHOS is more Chinese initiative, and BRICS is more Russia-Indian. They put these magnificent ideas together, magnificent in being mostly ridiculously. Let's not forget that this is a very summit, which was there were unintended footage recorded where Putin explains to secretary see how you can live forever.
Yeah. I remember. And the guy says that 150 years it becomes realistic.
And then eternal life might be real. So that's the same level of delusions, okay? So I would not take it very seriously. I would take it seriously, but I would not bet that it will materialize. But very fact that Indian PM, who is quite a pragmatic and a very shrewd politician, came to China and stood together with Xi and this. He didn't make this kind of statement, but he did not retract them either one.
Exactly.
So I think that is worrisome. Now, coming back to Georgia and our relationship with Trump, and will Trump become an enemy as well? I think that might be. There is a history. Let's not forget that Bidzina also has a history of former advisors. Mr. Rukhadze was one. Then this, what is his name here? Lasha Natsulishvili was one. They're all gone. I think now going against Trump, I think can be a bridge too far for Mr. Shatirishvili. I think that will be the moment when their love story gonna end. Because I'm quite sure, despite that everything Bidzina believes on this step state, he also understands he's still a pragmatic, and you can see it from the previous, that he can't afford confrontation with Trump for the moment. He can't. He can afford confrontation with Europe because Europe is gone for him. And he regrets it, by the way. It's obvious. You said about inviting the observers. He tries to, but that's gone. That ship has sailed. But now with Trump, which is his last hope, I don't think that he will willingly start calling him a deep state as well and going against him. Unless, of course, Trump puts him under sanctions, and then Biden has no choice.
He's under sanctions anyway.
No, not Americans. They are very limited.
Okay, but still, he's under sanctions.
There is a long list which Trump may add to his sanctions. Okay, there are lots of things Trump can make him hard. But he did not do it. There is no sign that he's going to do it. So I don't think that Bidzina go for. So I think that my prediction here will be that very soon, unfortunately, Mr. Shatirishvili will leave us as a Bidzina's advisor.
Let's wait and see.
We will see him departing to the office with the room where former advisors preside.
So I think I disagree a little bit here. I think that we will see his lines adopted to Georgian Dream's official propaganda earlier than this will happen, but let's wait and see.
I think that Trump was too much, and I think that Bidzina will, because Bidzina doesn't have 100% control over him like he didn't have over Bachashvili or over Rukhadze. It's obvious, even when they were. Otherwise, those things would not happen. So I think this is Shatirishvili's own agenda he's pushing using Bidzina. And Bidzina, I don't think that this will last long. Again, let's see.
Thanks, Nodar. Let's finish it here. Thank you very much for listening to us, to watching to us. Please like and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week.